Hello everybody, how is it going? And welcome back to another Chroma monthly update video. We skipped last month because of the holidays, but we're here this month. And I've got a lot to show you. Now, today's gonna have quite a few things, which are new. And those things are not ready and are not done. Let's just put it that way. Everything in the game is not ready and not done. That's because it's still in development. Just want to be upfront about this, right? Want to make sure we're all on the same page. Now, nonetheless, I'm very excited to show you stuff. And actually, it's looking like we'll be able to start playtesting this week. I really see no reason why we couldn't do that. Now, playtesting, what does that mean? It means that I'll be more happy to invite people in and like have them play. So, there's no more really like wait time for it. Like now is the time where we can start playtesting. So I'm going to start giving out codes pretty frequently. I'll explain some of the playtesting stuff as we go along. Okay, Chives is saying start of next week because he wants to get some more data stuff done. All right, then start of next week. But as you can see, we're really at that stage now. So let's go ahead and have a look at the game. Welcome to Chroma. You may notice that it immediately looks quite a bit different. We actually have, proper kind of like interface here now. It's not done, but we have our overall UI kind of figured out a little bit more. We have our deck builder here as before. We've got all of these features, right? We've got our store that's still being worked on. And, let's just dive into the deck builder. Dive into the deck builder. There we go. Okay, that was a little bit weird. I don't know why I didn't want to do that, but here we are now. Oh, that was a bit scary. So you may immediately be able to tell that the cards look quite a bit different. So in Chroma, there are 4 different colors. And we have now redesigned our card frames to be able to properly showcase all of those different colors in game. So you can see now that green cards are actually green, and red cards and blue cards and purple cards actually are the colors that they are supposed to be. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, we're still figuring out all of the details here. I'm gonna be fixing this up a lot more. But yeah, something you may also have noticed is that there are a lot more cards with actual artwork. So we, of course, have our beautiful dev art here. But if we go through a little bit, you can see something like this. You have our Insurgent Automaton, which we have shown before. Deconstruct. All right. A whole bunch of kind of like nice new artwork. Like this bad boy right here, which is... that one is just beautiful. I mean, that's a really gorgeous one. All right. But overall, there's... just a lot more actual artwork in the game. On top of that, the card frames actually properly represent what kind of card they are. So you may notice that there are slight differences in the card frames. So this right here is a creature. This right here is an enchantment. All right, you can see it's a creature. It's got the kind of like these corners here, right? This one has got more like the rounded corners. I always joke that they look like ears. By the way, these are going to be filled with color. It's just not in yet. Spells look like this. And then, it's kind of like if we go through some more, you can see weapons have their own unique frame. So do... Can we actually... Yeah, this right here would be a landmark, which... yeah, currently, again, like there's still some quirks, but you can see it's also kind of got a little bit of a unique frame. So this way, it's just kind of like easier and quicker to tell which cards are which card type, which will just hopefully smooth out the gameplay a lot more. So, we also have updated our hero selection screen. So you can see that you can now go in here and you have a nice overview over the different heroes in the game. And, you know, you can actually kind of like see them a bit easier with 3 different levels of detail. This level of detail has a little bit of a seizure. Apologize for that. This it's definitely a little bit of a yeah, this one we need to bring to the hospital. It's kind of having some problems at times. But you know, we've got 3 different levels of detail which allow you to kind of like zoom through a little bit and have a look at them. You know, kind of have a look at them in detail, where we'll be able to add in lore about the different characters and all of that stuff. So, let's build a deck. Let's start by doing that. How about we start by building a deck with Quill? Why not? Here we go, since we already got Quill selected. Now, something you may have noticed is as soon as we selected Quill, the game automatically selected all of the cards that we are actually able to use with this hero. This is true for all heroes. So if I want to select Mole, you can see now the game is automatically like, okay, cool, this hero has this mana pool. So here are all of the cards this hero can actually play. And of course, this kind of varies based on which hero you selected. Like this one has 3 colors, so she has a lot more cards she can choose from. But, you know, it's just kind of how it is. So this is a really nice quality of life feature that just kind of like makes things a lot easier. So why don't we why don't we take Frank? No, let's not take Frank. Where was my Muse? There we go. Let's go ahead and go with Muse again. So Muse, and I know you can't really see this right now, so allow me to actually remove my face cam for a second. So you can see Muse has 6 purple and 6 green mana. So we can now build a deck with that in mind. The question is, of course, how do we want to construct this and all of that stuff. So we kind of want to look at what our general game plan is going to be. Green kind of excels at dealing damage and having strong, kind of like independently strong creatures with nice effects. And purple is more kind of like supporty, board floody, and kind of like keeps control over things that are happening. So there are some key cards that we can immediately look at. So for example, Will of the Wood is a great card. It has a Dawn effect, which happens when you play the card. That's what the Dawn effect is. You bring it into, that's essentially Battle Cry. And it says summon 2 1/1 creatures. And then it also has a passive effect, which says whenever you summon a creature, give all of your creatures +1 attack. Which is a really powerful kind of like key card that allows you to place it down, you put it into the guarded stance, which is what defense mode is now called, and that way you kind of keep it alive, and then you use that to make your board very powerful. Green-purple also has this card, Growth, which is a very simple card, which says give all allied creatures +3/+3. Right? It's very simple, but because it only because of the fairly low mana cost, it's something that you can actually use to just overwhelm your opponent very quickly. So if we want to kind of build a kind of green-purple swarm deck like that, then we would, how about we just start by putting these 2 in. Now, we are going creature heavy, so it probably makes sense to start looking at which creatures we actually want to put into the deck. Right, so this right here is a fantastic creature because it just cycles itself. It just draws a card, right? So we can just go and put that in there. So we've got the Blue Crest Villager here. Living Rampart. This card isn't very offensive. It's a very defensive card, but it's great because it just kind of has a relatively high health pool that's going to help us defend. Now, in terms of 1 mana cards, 1 mana effects, right? Eager Apothecary is actually very powerful, but it's a bit slow and it's more of a supporting card. Radiance is incredibly powerful. But that's kind of it. We've got Bountiful Harvest and Blossom, which are really, again, more like supporting defensive things or kind of long-term plans. But green has the Egotist, who's amazing. Alright, this guy is super powerful. We've got the Son of Driven, which is also incredibly powerful. We've got Deconstruct. We've got the Black Dragon Saint at... Oops, there we go, sorry. We got the Black Dragon Saint at 2 mana, which is also really powerful. Lots of stuff that's like strong at low mana. So what we can do is we can start with 1 green. We go out and put in the Egotist, we put in the Son of Driven. Right? Those are just nice cards. Then we can also just slot in Deconstruct, because Deconstruct is something that's just going to shoot something for free damage. It's nice. It's bold. We can bolt a guy. So we now have some good creatures, right? And that's always something that's pretty powerful. That's like nice and good to have. Bloom Vagrant is incredible for us because it says at the end of your turn, summon a 1/1. This is just another creature that's going to be able to allow us to continuously spawn additional things. Veteran Executor is fantastic because it buffs our creatures, right? You can kind of see how this is all coming together. And then we got the Dragon Beetle, which Dragon Beetle is just top tier card. So looking at this, we can kind of see, okay, do we have anything at 3 mana right now that requires specifically the mana cost that we are looking for? And no, not really. So far, we're pretty flexible in that slot. So what we can just do is we say, okay, let's just put something in here. But we do need a purple by 3. So we can put so we can play the Bloom Vagrant, right? That's a pretty important one that we want to be able to get out in time. We could play a Beholds and Becomes. Like Jeremy just has Jeremy. Chives, the man has a full name. But we could just put Beholds and Becomes in there, which is something that allows you to transform into another creature if you want to. You don't have to, but it allows you to do it. Which is not too bad. I don't know his last name. You can ask. He exists. He is a person. Into the Hooked is also a fantastic card that allows us to kind of search for some nice power in our deck. And then there's also the Insurgent Automaton. I'm already like overthinking this. It's not like Chive's deck is going to be that powerful. But I just kind of want to take you through the deck building process a little bit, right? I want to kind of like show you all of the things you can do. For example, Second Chance is a great card. It uses a lot of purple mana though. Well, to be honest, it's actually fine. We could just go like this, put in Second Chance, go for like a Resurrection. And then, you know, kind of like see if we can maybe snatch something powerful up like that. We only have 4 more slots left in our deck. So I think since we're really trying to be creature heavy, maybe we can go with a Ghost of the Goodwill. As you can see, Ghost of Goodwill has 10 HP. Only 2 damage, which is not really that great. But just having 10 HP is going to be nice. It's going to be a strong defensive option. And maybe we put in a Black Dragon Saint. To be honest, we probably don't really want to go that heavy on the Beholds and Becomes. Let's put in a second Black Dragon Saint. And, alright, this is probably a terrible deck, but let's just go with it. So, let's just call it something. Here we go. Oh, please adjust the mana curve. Right, I didn't actually finish our mana curve here. So we're going to save this now, and there's our deck. So now we're going to go and play around against Chives. We're going to go ahead and select our deck and queue. Here is one of, oops, sorry, wrong button, there we go. Here's one of the other new things. You may notice that our board looks a lot different. Isn't it great? Like, it's actually been updated. It like looks so much nicer in my opinion. There's been lots of kind of like detailed adjustments made to it that really kind of like help put things into like, I don't know. It took a while. That's what I'm trying to say. It took a long time to figure this all out and make it good. But it's yeah, I'm very happy with it. But you can see we also have our trees kind of softly going in the wind here. And yeah, now Muse is a special creature, or a special hero, because what Muse has, she has 1 mana that is of all colors. Her first mana is a mana of all colors that you can just do whatever with. So even though we played a green-purple, so we were playing a purely green and purple deck, she could actually splash all colors, or like it's fine to a certain extent. That's kind of like what makes her really good. So let's play Son of Driven. Now, to some of you Hearthstone players, what I'm about to do may look insane and be like, what the fuck are you thinking about me? That card is crazy powerful. I want to remind you that the power level in this game is significantly higher than in Hearthstone. Significantly higher. Also, I'm still in the process of balancing it. So that's why we need to start playtesting, so I can figure out whether or not these cards are actually okay in the way they are. Okay? Great. Because what this guy does is you can play him, and then you can choose an allied creature, give it +2 attack, and, well, charge. Or bolt. Meaning it can immediately attack. Only until end of turn. But it's still pretty powerful. So we get a nice turn 1 play that just ends up with some damage straight going to the face here. But yeah, I think our new board looks fantastic. I'm really happy with it. 1 mana for 1 charge feels good. Yes. Again, please keep and it has bonus utility. Please keep in mind that the power level in this is really not comparable to a game like Hearthstone. So anyway, my poor Son of Driven got taken out immediately. That's fine. Now, there are some other new things. So one of the things that I'm really happy about that is in, which was kind of a problem for a long time, is that you now have the ability to queue mana. So if I want to click here, so if I click on this right here, right, you can see now I have a green mana queued. I can click on it again and unqueue it. I can click here. That doesn't show properly yet, because it's, again, it's a special mana. But this way I can select which mana I actually want to spend on my actions. Now, it doesn't really matter right now, because right now we just throw a guy down and just kind of be happy with that, right? But this is still something that now it's actually possible to properly control which mana you're spending on which action, which really helps with the overall playability. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and toss down a Bloom Vagrant, and we're probably gonna just toss this guy into defense mode right now. Oh my god! Rusty C3PO, holy shit. Thank you so much for the 25 subs. Oh man, well that's gonna buy quite a bit of food. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we're gonna put this guy into defense mode because this hero has a hero power that deals 1 damage. And I don't want my Bloom Vagrant to just be sniped out by this attacking and then the hero power. So we'll make that a little bit more difficult. But this way we have that kind of like, you know, like bonus ability here. No, actually it's, you know, like defense mode. It's actually like, we renamed it to guarded stance. There's now the combat stance and the guarded stance, but it takes me a little bit to get used to it. Anyway. So my guy got shot here, which is pretty good, right? That's our graveyard. And we're just kind of mostly on a journey to trying to get the biggest board we can. So we can use growth to, you know, be able to push for a lot of damage here. Although our hand is not working out that well right now. So we can use our hero power, which is just scrying. This is not something that we're looking for. I think we're just going to play the Egotist right here. And then I'm probably just gonna bolt this guy. Do I have to do that? Yeah, that way I'm kind of limiting the options next turn a little bit more. This doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel like a great play, but well, it seems like really the only thing we can do here. So we gotta kind of like figure out how we get around the strong defensive options that Chise is currently throwing at us. So, something I do really want to make clear here, in case that wasn't obvious, but we are actually playing against another player. Like, we're just playing against Chais. Like, it's just, we're not on any sort of, I don't know. Like, this is not a CPU. We're just playing over Steam against another player. You can just do that. Do we get this? I think we can play this right now, actually. So what this is gonna be, one of our big win conditions. It's kind of squishy in terms of HP, but it immediately presents a huge threat. And we want to put it into defense mode. Actually, probably could have left it in attack mode. No, that was a misplay. Okay, anyway, we're gonna go and start swinging here. Alright, come on. There we go. Where's the opponent's name? Oh, that's something that we haven't gotten in yet. Look, we're still working on it. Still, like, so, how I would describe our current stage of development is that we are kind of past most of the really important essentials. And we are now at the stage of, we need to fix it up. Like, we need to make it pretty. Because it's not that pretty right now. Okay, the Wilhound is a bit annoying. It's gonna kind of, like, shoot one of my guys. Or not. Oh, Chais decided to not use it, I guess. Alright, that works for me. That works for me. So, we're about to go into our 6th turn. We could try to bring something back, but I think we want to keep this for Will of the Woods. So, I'm sure you're familiar with how Battle Cry works in Hearthstone. Right? Where when you play it from the hand, it triggers its Battle Cry. Now, Dawn, which is kind of our equivalent, doesn't work in the same way. Oh my god, Rusty C3PO. Oh man, kind of really catching me off guard right now, dude. I'm kind of... Okay, so the Will of the Woods, so the Will of the Woods has a Dawn effect, and Dawn effects trigger even when something isn't played from hand. It just needs to enter the battlefield during your turn. As long as it is during your turn, the effect will happen. Meaning, if I use something like Second Chance, I can actually trigger the Dawn effect of Will of the Wood, which, as you might imagine, is pretty powerful. Now, I have 6 mana right now, so let's maybe start by scrying. Now, what's important here is we don't want to accidentally spend one of our green mana, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to click this right here. Now we've got one of the purple mana queued up, and we're now going to scry Son of Driven. That's actually really good. I'm going to leave that on top. I think we might be able to win here. Okay, so here's what we do. We take these 2 down, put down the Blue Crest Villager. You can see the damage is going up. We toggle this guy back into combat, give it charge, and... no, yeah, you can't attack yet. But we can do a lot of damage right now. Nice. So you really saw how, like, kind of like proper thinking through a turn. I could have just thrown down Growth to, like, immediately do something. But, you know, I scryed first, saw what is on top of my deck, saw what can I do with that, how do I approach this, and then just kind of went from there.
Tie for all of the years.
Thank you so much, Rusty C3PO. That is so nice of you. Very much appreciated. Palmy, can you explain the basics of this game? Well, I can. Give me just 1 second, though. I got something funny to show you. Which will also explain the basics of the game. So, okay. So we have some more options here. The first one being we can just attack and kill Chives. But we could also do something kind of crazy with Behoods and Becomes and try and create, like... Okay, I don't actually know if this is gonna work. But let's try it, okay? So I play this guy. Now it has this active ability. I'm going to copy the Son of Driven. And no, it didn't work. Okay, it's not at that level yet. But I was kind of hoping that then it should trigger the Dawn effect, which allows me to give bonus damage to something. But it doesn't really matter because we can just attack and end the game. Look at us. We won. So, this is the other thing I wanted to show you. It currently pops up quite a bit. But yeah, that's kind of like where we're at. You can see, I think we've made a lot of progress. It's really nice. We have more cards than we did before, right? And a lot of like the cards that we do have, they all work a lot better. They're not as buggy anymore. But we actually have a tutorial.
Hi, I'm Luna. I'm here to teach you how to play Chroma, Bloom, and Blight.
So, as you can see, we have the little pop-up in the top right corner. We have a little voiceover that Mickey recorded. Admittedly, it's just kind of like a, you know, quick... So this is all placeholder still, the voiceover. Alright. But we're gonna go ahead and just kind of like... do nothing, I guess. I don't know.
Nice game.
Hey, 11 Spock 11. Thank you very much for the sub. Oh, is it not working? Guys, I think we may have broken it. Aw, that's a shame. Alright, there's something really funny in the tutorial. Oh no, it is working. It's just really slow. Okay, never mind. Okay, it did work. It was just really slow. Sure. The tutorial is actually like a proper tutorial. We're going to, so it's telling us we need to shuffle back, so we can't confirm right now, right? Like, in this tutorial is really meant to, like, kind of teach you the basics of the game.
We're gonna start
so we drew a card.
Drawing a card from our deck. For now, I've given you one of my decks, but you can build your own decks later.
Right.
At the start of your turn, you gain 1 mana.
You gain 1 mana.
You can see which colors of mana you have on your mana curve.
Which is the bottom right.
You can choose which colors you want to use during deck building.
Gotta still highlight all of that stuff.
Let's start by playing a creature. We have 2 1-mana creatures in hand, but we can only play Tutorial Sorcerer because we don't have the right colors of mana for Eager Apothecary yet.
The large area in front of us is called the story. Creatures have to be played in the story to be played.
Let's start by playing the Tutorial Sorcerer.
So to explain what happened here. When Mickey recorded the voiceover, she forgot to record that line. And when I was editing it the next day, I was like, oh fuck, she isn't home, she's in school, she's not gonna come home for like another 5 hours. Oh yeah, well I'll just record it really quick. So I just did that one line myself. Again, it's still all placeholders, but I just think it's really funny.
They use their coin to get 1 extra mana and play 2 creatures, the Egotist and Blight Tamer.
So
our opponent played 2 creatures. Let's use our creature to attack and destroy one of them. When attacking an enemy creature, the attacker still takes damage. Attacking enemy creatures with your own creatures is a great way to get rid of them.
Keep it full of meme. No, we're gonna get rid of it, but it's just funny.
But sometimes we want to make sure that our creatures are safe, instead of putting them in harm's way. As you may have noticed, we gained an additional mana.
So this is still missing a lot of the highlighting and details, right?
We can now play the Eager Apothecary.
But our hand is being properly highlighted.
Because now we have the right colors of mana needed.
So
let's play the Eager Apothecary now.
So I'm supposed to now play this. By the way, we know that the shadows back there are a little bit whack. Don't worry, we are away.
Currently, our opponent could
we are there, not away.
By attacking it.
Yeah, our opponent could just... Actually, I guess they couldn't. But sure.
You can switch creatures into the
It's very something we need to think about.
Creatures in the guard stance can't be attacked, but they also can't attack themselves either. Let's switch our creature into the guarded stance now.
So this is this right
We
here.
still have enough mana to play the Tutorial Harvest enchantment we just drew. Enchantments also have to be placed in the story. Let's play it now.
So this is kind of the...
often provide long-term effects. This one will heal us at the end of every turn. Enchantments have a span.
Which is
At the
this up
start of
here.
the turn, its span counter will decrease by 1. When it reaches 0, the enchantment will be destroyed. Since we're out of mana, we should probably end our turn now. Oh no, it's their turn again.
So yeah, anyway, I don't think we need to go through the whole tutorial right now. Right, but yeah, so that's what we've been up to. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Well, you know, I think it's nice, you know, like I like the new card frames. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. So I do you guys have any questions? Let's kind of like maybe leave it at that. Right? If you have any questions, if you want to know anything, I'm sure you're interested in a variety of subjects. Like, I know people always ask, draft mode? Draft mode is coming. It's not in yet, but we're working on it. This game will be free to play? Yes, free to play. What's the 1N in ability costs? That's how much mana it costs. No, the game will be fully free to play. Yeah. As well as all of the cards will also be free to play. So you just download the game, you get all the cards, you just play. Are the card designs gonna change? It looks very basic right now. I'm not sure what you mean with that. Card design is so broad. It doesn't really help. Who is Cebolado na Balada? It's the artist. That's the artists. We've got Magno, we've got Isabella Cabolado. Cebolado, sorry. He's called Toshi in Discord. I always call him Toshi. But yeah, that's kind of like the current... Sorry, I mean the design of the frame. No, we just updated that. It's nice. Well, it's gonna change visually a little bit with what we're gonna do right now. So I think what you mean, right? I think what you're trying to express is you think it looks very simple because of the way that the frame currently has a very monotonous color scheme all the way around. Right? It's all purple. That's going to change. It's going to become, we're going to work on the colors a little bit more. But the overall card frame will stay like this. I'm actually very happy with it. I think it works very well. I have a question about deck building. I recently tried Legends of Runeterra and found the deck size to be way too big compared to the game's length and the tools you're given. How much of the deck will you get to play in a match on Chroma on average? Well, on average is always very difficult to tell. It kind of comes down to what kind of deck you're playing. But I have found that it is not that unreasonable that in more control-heavy matchups, you actually go through your entire deck. That definitely happens. So yeah. Anyway. Seems like the questions are not really coming. So we're going to just go ahead and leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the update. I hope you guys look forward to the game. We're putting a lot of work into every detail. There's still a lot more coming, right? And we're really at a point where a lot of what we're doing is about kind of like just optimizing, right? We want to make everything look better and feel better and sound better and be better, right? We're gonna keep the features very low because we're planning for the Kickstarter, and for that we really want to make sure that everything we have is in a good shape. So starting next week, we're going to make a Discord available where people can join. We're currently just fixing some stuff up for that. Starting next week, we are also going to start playtesting a lot more actively, which means we are going to continuously be giving out codes to people to help playtest. And yeah. In terms of deck building, is there any reason to play 1-drops of different colors? It's a bit difficult, but some of them are nice. So, like, for example, if we look at something like this, the Eager Apothecary is not necessarily a card you just need to play on turn 1. You could even view this as a late game card, where what you mostly do with it, you toss it down, you put it into garden stance, and then you use its active to draw cards and heal, right? It's not so much about the immediate benefit of like having a lot of combat power immediately, and in that way, you know, like it kind of comes down to what you're looking for exactly in your 1-drop. Like if you're looking at something like the Egotist, which is just a great fighter, then you're a bit more limited. But if you're going for more of a combo deck, then you might want something that gives charge. Oh, or bold. Sorry. But want to give something that gives bold, and then that way you can kind of overwhelm things. Or the Benefactor is a card that really can help you just generate resources. So it really comes down a lot to what you're trying to do. It's not as simple to say. So yeah. Well then. As always, if anybody's interested in investing into the game, even small sums, please send me an email, BaumateThinkingBottle. You know, we're all, I don't want to say community funded, but privately funded, right? And I would like to keep it that way, meaning that I am very happy to bring in people that are interested. You know, what I can, like we can figure something out that works well for the both of us, right? What counts as a small sum, starting at around 10,000. That's kind of what I, yeah. Like that's kind of the ballpark that I'm looking for. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys look forward to the game. And well, I wish I could help. Right, Queer? All I need from you and everybody else is be excited, be around. When we release the Discord, come hang out in the Discord. When we start playtesting, help with playtesting, and then maybe throw us $5 on the throw us $5 on the Kickstarter. And as long as you do all of those things, and even if you don't do all of those things and just a few, then I'm happy with that too. All right. So yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Have a good day.